Hello and welcome to my How to Homeschool class. Today's topic is choosing subjects to teach and to plan a routine. So I appreciate you attending. My name is Andrea and I'll be guiding you through today's class. I'm always curious, how did you hear about class and where are you calling in from? Please let me know in the comments. It just gives me an idea of how our community is growing throughout the world. I appreciate you sharing. A little bit about me. I'm calling in from Maryland on the east coast of the United States. And I'm a wife and mother of 4. Each day, my family and I, we live with 12 healthy habits in order to enjoy a better quality of life. And we also do this to support the success of all that God calls us to do. And because these habits have been so transformative to our lives, I do my best to share guidance on how to both implement and stick with each of these helpful habits so that we can all live truly thriving lives together. So I'll share more about the other videos, workbooks, classes, and support groups that I offer throughout the week. But for now, let's go ahead and jump right into today's class. So our goal for today is to get ideas for where you'll homeschool and how you'll set up your space, as well as how you want to plan out your school year. While we're together today, we'll cover things like your homeschool space ideas, conventional and unconventional homeschooling locations, why both a routine and a schedule is important. We'll talk about things to consider when planning your homeschool routine and ways to ensure that your space and your schedule will align with your homeschool vision. So in our last class, we talked about what homeschooling is. We covered the common concerns and we envisioned our homeschool ideas and our homeschool vision. We also defined some of the homeschooling terms and regulations. So now it's time to get specific and make a plan, because failure to plan is planning to fail, and we don't want that. So I'm going to give you some ideas on how to help you to prepare for your location, your routine, and your subjects. So as far as your location, you might have a regular location, maybe in your home, and then maybe a special location for special days, like maybe the library. As far as your home, you might want to choose to use the kitchen table to teach. You might want to use the kids' room if it's more fun, hands-on activities that are already spaced out in there. You might want to use the living room, maybe just get comfy on the couch. You might want to choose to homeschool most times outside if it's weather permitting. You could use a picnic blanket, a bench, or maybe a park bench or table. You could also use a facility on some days, maybe the library if you just want to get out, or maybe a community center if you have one available in your area. And then you could also use museums in the area as well, places on the go, like homeschooling in the car if you want to do road schooling or if you just want to travel that week. It can be very easy to homeschool on a train because they have the little table in the meal cars and you can use those tables to do your work there. And you can also homeschool while walking, have a good conversation, and just let their minds just be free. Your routine is the general route that you want to take as you go throughout each day. So even if you don't have specific items, you can move by the usual events of the day. So for example, lessons might begin right after breakfast, or the school day maybe should conclude by lunchtime. You can keep up with routines like that. That way, even if you're homeschooling on the go, or if the day starts a little late, you at least know how the general flow of things should go. So your yearly routine is going to include things like your first day. When is your first day of school? Is it always the first day of a certain month? Is it always after a certain holiday? When would that be? You also want to look at when your autumn and spring and winter and summer breaks will begin and when they will conclude. You want to consider your very last day of school. When will that be? So that you have some boundaries and you don't end up schooling all year round. And you also want to keep in mind when will school start next year. It's also a good idea to total up the total weeks of instruction, as that might be something that's important for your state to know, because they might ask and request information like that as well. And you want to make sure you've already prepared to meet any type of requirements that they might have. You also want to plan out the school days of the week. So are you going to homeschool only on weekends? Will it be Monday through Friday like a usual school system? Or will you try to do maybe every other day? Maybe one Monday, Wednesday, Friday? How do you want to set up your school week? Is it going to be 4 days, 3 days? How do you want to do that? You also want to think about how many hours each day you want to teach your child. Is it going to be good to teach just for a few hours each day, or would they benefit for a very long, like 6-hour school day, which is what they usually have, but that may not be necessary for your child because of the one-on-one instruction. You'll also want to consider any activities that you'll have throughout the day. Will there be opening activities that you'll do each day, some type of read aloud, maybe a snack time? Is there going to be a certain time for recess? And which subjects do you think you'd like to teach each day? Are you going to try to teach 2 subjects per day, 3 subjects per day, all subjects each day? How do you want to do it? Do you want to do A and B days? What would work best for your child? And then of course you want to make sure you know exactly when and under what circumstances should the school day conclude. Should it conclude when your child is just tired and zapped and they just need a break? When should the school day conclude? Because you don't want to overdo the school days. You don't want to push too much as far as their learning time. So when does the school day conclude? Should it conclude by lunchtime? When would that be? So it might seem like a lot to try to plan out the school day and everything. If you need any help, I actually have some ideas and tips in my workbook. And you can also, if you're not ready for the curriculum workbooks just yet, you can just get the How to Homeschool workbook, which basically preset worksheets to try to help you organize and lay out everything. So that can be helpful too. If it seems like a lot to try to think about all at once, just know that I made you some homeschool scheduling and routine planners with step-by-step instructions to try to help you schedule your homeschool day. So give that a go. It's the How to Homeschool workbook, not the guides, but the How to Homeschool workbook. So there's ways to ensure your space and your schedule align with your original homeschool vision. So take some time and make sure that you check out your original vision, look at the sketches that you have, look at the original list of ideas that you came up with, and make sure that none of those aspects got lost in any of the homeschool regulations that you had to stick with, or any of maybe financial concerns that you might have had. If you see any conflicts, make sure that you take time to get creative, and don't be afraid to talk to your school system and find ways to ensure that you can make sure you feel good about your homeschooling journey with your child. If you don't see any suitable options, it might be worth considering relocating to another state that would be on board with a lot of the vision and a lot of the things that you and your child are excited about doing for school. As far as financial limitations and life issues that might come up, just be kind to yourself and do what you can. Even if you can't do 100% of everything you might want to do, try to do at least 50% of what you can do at that time. If you can't do 50%, try to do 25%. Just do something. Something is always better than nothing. And that goes for if you're having a rough day and you're not able to really give your all, but at least do something for school that day. And even if the school system's rules kind of hinder what you would like to do, they don't have to. You can always do 200%. You can do 100% of what the state is requiring, and you could also then afterwards do what you and your family would like to do for homeschool as well. So then you can do both. So you can make sure you take time to meet the requirements, but also do what you and your children envision for their homeschool. So you may have noticed that earlier I said that my family and we live with 12 healthy habits in order to enjoy a better quality of life. So then homeschooling is just one of the 12. We embrace all these healthy habits so that there will be less bad habits to sabotage our efforts to obey God, and more healthy habits in order to support our success as we aim to do all that Yahweh called us to do. For all these healthy habits, I offer guidance via videos, workbooks, classes, and support group to help you implement and stick with each of these habits. So if you could use any guidance on this or any of the 12 healthy habits, just know that I'm here to guide you, and you can find more details on my website, which is trulythrivinglives.org. All right, so I'd love to know, how did you enjoy today's class, and what questions do you have for me? You can let me know in the comments below, or if you'd like, you can save your questions for support group or for coaching. Either way, I look forward to supporting you along your journey. Thanks again for attending, and I hope you have a blessed day.